Hello, hello. Another day, another Tea Time Chronicle. This is a thing now, apparently, because I'm a yapper. It is what I do. I yap. So here I am, yapping. You know what I mean? But today's video is extra special for me, and you must have already read the title. If you're new here, if you have never seen me before, I am Ashwini. I talk, free flow of thoughts, stream of consciousness, and usually I find I'm a very deeply feeling person. All right, I'm a very deeply feeling person. All right, the light is there. I'm a very deeply feeling person. I'm very intuitive. I am very spiritual. I'm very psycho-spiritual. Every spiritual process goes through the psyche, and since I feel so much, I naturally have to develop the words to speak about it or write about it or do something about it. I think that's the point of art. That's what everybody does. And this is my form. This is the best way I know. This is the best way I can communicate to the world around me. And I've tried drawing and painting, and I can't do that. All right. But let's get back to the topic of the video. As you must have read, I'd like to thank Jim Carrey. All right. I love him. I love him because, okay, shits and giggles aside, I love him truly, because the heart of the matter is that you just have to go through the previous some of my videos in order to piece this together. I have been going through a very interesting experience in my life, and I'm not the only one. It never is. It's a very human experience, and I can call it spiritual awakening or whatever it is. And Jung kind of provided me insight onto how it all starts with the psyche. All our suffering, and I've been suffering, and I have suffered in the past quite a lot. And I come from a lineage that has suffered a lot. The kind of pain breaks you open, as we've all heard about. And when it breaks you open, it kind of introduces you to things that don't make sense, that cause suffering sometimes, because in not being able to speak to people about it or not being able to make sense of it, you're left alone in that experience. But even that is an illusion in and by itself. It's a Maya, because everybody speaks about spiritual awakening. I'm not the only person who knows about this, and thank God for that. What a lonely experience that would be. But it is inevitable to not experience some suffering as a result of it. You see me here sitting with clarity and all of these things, but the mind does what the mind does, all right? And there's a degree of a difference between having these experiences, literally a degree. It's what people mean when they say excitement and anxiety are the same thing. Let's switch it. Anxiety and excitement are the same thing, but it's your experience that kind of shifts the needle. That needle is intentional. That needle takes a lot of willpower to navigate through what starts off as anxiety to turn it into excitement. I say that because a lot of the suffering that I know is spiritual awakening starts off as suffering, and it's easy to get caught up in the tycoon of suffering. And I do get caught up. It's the difference between a diagnosis and an awakening. And that's what it is. It's the difference between the Truman Show syndrome to the movie Soul. And that's what it is. And in navigating my own mayhem, there are so many people out there, and in a way this influences me to know that I must speak about these things, or I truly wouldn't. Because it's so woo-woo. It's so, what are you talking about, bro? It's so weird. But in reality, it's far from weird. We all experience these things. We're all human beings. That's the reason it's so well documented. That's the reason I'm so grateful for people like Jung and Jim Carrey. Because they put words and they speak about things that would have left me very alone in my experience if they hadn't put words to it that helped so many versions of me understand myself. And that's why I put words to it too. I am grateful. I'm overcome by glee because of how grateful I am. And it's a pendulum of sorts sometimes. Like I said, there's a degree of a difference. But we kind of, the Sisyphus rock of this experience is that You start from suffering and then you understand the spirituality of things, and then it's and then you're right back into the, below the mountain to push the rock up again, and it's like, yo, fuck. It's life. This video comes from my place of being able to accept these things within me. And this is where these people are so instrumental. These movies are so instrumental. I see so many patterns in the way that life speaks to me and in the way that I interact with it. And there are so many things about my own experience that becomes clearer as each day goes by. And I just wanted to thank Jim Carrey, because I find so much solace in his expression. And I've said this a million times, but that's the depth of my gratitude, all right? It is the depth of my gratitude. And I remember I was like, I need to meet him someday. And that's the same attitude I share towards Rajnikant. Love Rajnikant. But why wait until I meet him? The internet exists. We live in this era right now. And I don't know if this video will ever reach Jim Carrey. Oh, I wish it would, right? Intention, manifestation. And if Jim Carrey is watching this, thank you for being fully you, which allows me to be fully me in a way that I would have never been able to be. Because of everyone, in this moment, I would attribute the highest degree of relevance, importance, gratitude, appreciation, love to you. Because you made me feel less alone in something that immediate people around me did not seem to be able to share with me. Not for anything that is their fault, but such is life. Life opens up when we look at it through the lens of gratitude. And with each suffering, as I navigated each night or each day or each day, I am led back to a place of gratitude very intentionally. It doesn't happen automatically. It takes intentional shifting of that degree from suffering to thinking, okay, yeah, a higher perspective perhaps. I find myself in the lower perspective and in the higher perspectives of things simultaneously together all the time. And this is also something that is expressed by Jim Carrey, which I experienced but would have never had the balls to express until I saw him speak of the same thing. And I knew that that thread of experience was it was free in that I was not alone. And I think this is a good place to stop the video. I'm grateful. I'm grateful for life. I'm grateful for everything that has happened to me. I speak a lot about trauma. And I will. Because that is what has led me to here. And if you are someone who's watching this and would like to check my stuff out, you can, either watch other videos in this page or you can watch my Instagram. I have 2 accounts. It's Ashwini 1.616 and ADHD Coach Ashwini. It started off as ADHD, but I see so many things beyond it. Bicep. I need to work out. All right. But what I was trying to say is I'm grateful. I'm grateful. I'm grateful for all the traumas that delivered so much pain into me, which led me here. And it's wild. I say that because when you're going through the darkness, you don't. And who is that who said? It was a woman, I think, who wrote the quote. Somebody handed me a box of darkness. It took me a long while to realize it was a gift. That's what life is. Life is about dealing with darkness every day, each day as it comes to us in different forms, until we are able to muster the courage to open it, sit with it as it roars out of its gift box, and be able to see the gift that it is. And I see that all of that has led me to a place where I'm able to, in my work too, This is the gratifying part. In my work too, as a coach, I see that in being able to talk to people, I'm able to free them of their torment a bit because I was able to free myself. Not by doing anything, but by simply, that's what coaching 101 is. Coaching is never about creating it's about creating an interdependent relationship, not a codependent relationship. And this is something I note to myself each time because I'm very wary of this. But in being able to talk to people and being able to hear their experiences, albeit I'm a person with limited capacity and was scared that it would lead to codependence, I'm able to help people find clarity, just like people were able to help me find clarity. Like the therapist that introduced me to IFS, like the movies that I watch, like the rightly placed teacher that finds me at the right time because, when the student is ready, the teacher finds you type shit. And all of that has led me to a place where I see that all of that trauma has led me to yap enough that even in my yappery, even in all of this, even when my messages are repetitive, even when I show up like this, absolutely unkempt, even when I show up like this, as me, which is exactly what my trauma took away from me, which is what my trauma came from. My trauma came from everything that I was, which was not accepted. And now in being everything that I am and having navigated through all of that, I'm able to talk to people in a way that they seem to find value in, and in that is my value. And, vice versa. All that to say that is why I come in here and yap. So thank you for watching me. If you find any value, let me know. Pour into me too. Let me know. Thank you. Now is a good place to stop.